Most people are looking in the wrong places: Miami, Tampa, Orlando, already out of reach. But tucked away in corners of the state, are quiet little towns where homes are still under $250K, sometimes even under $150,000. Where peace still lives. Where investors haven't taken over, yet. But that window is closing. Because once the word gets out, these towns will never be the same. This is your last chance. Today, we're counting down the top 5 cheap towns in Florida to buy a home before prices skyrocket, and number 1 will leave you shocked. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be packing your bags. Number 5, Arcadia, Florida. Hidden deep in south-central Florida is a town you've likely never heard of, and that's exactly why it's still a hidden gem. Welcome to Arcadia, a place where life slows down. The air smells like orange blossoms, and the only traffic jam is a tractor on a country road. Here, you can still find single-family homes for under $200,000. Not fixer-uppers, real homes, on real land, with front yards big enough for barbecues and backyard dreams. It's the kind of affordability Florida hasn't seen in decades. Arcadia is rich in old Florida charm. Its historic downtown is lined with antique stores and mom-and-pop diners that haven't changed since the 1950s. People greet you with a smile, neighbors know each other's names, and at night, the silence is golden. But that charm, it's under threat. Developers are already circling like vultures, buying land, mapping out strip malls, and pitching plans for gated communities. Arcadia's peace won't last forever, because when the highways come, the prices rise, the charm fades, and that $200,000 home turns into a $400,000 regret. If you've ever dreamed of owning a quiet slice of Florida, this may be your last chance before the secret's gone for good. While the rest of Florida battles rising costs and shrinking space, Arcadia quietly offers homes. For #Inverness, Florida. Just an hour north of Tampa, tucked between sparkling lakes and thick state forests, lies a town that feels like a step back in time: Inverness, Florida. Quiet, clean, and full of southern charm. Inverness is where people go to escape the chaos. It's the kind of town where you can hear the crickets at night, where neighbors still talk over fences, and where your morning commute might just be a 5-minute drive through trees and sunshine. But the biggest draw? Affordability. Right now, you can still buy homes in Inverness for under $180,000, with low property taxes and a cost of living that retirees and families dream about. It's one of the last places in Florida where small-town life doesn't come with a giant price tag. But that peaceful charm, it's already being threatened. Tampa's housing market is on fire, overpriced, overcrowded, and overflowing. And guess where people are going? They're heading north, to places like Inverness. Locals say the change started just 2 years ago. Now, new faces are moving in fast. Rent is creeping up. Traffic is slowly appearing on once-empty roads. Realtors are warning, the window is closing. So ask yourself, do you want to be one of the lucky ones who gets in while homes are still under $180K, or will you look back a year from now and realize you missed the boat? Because once the prices explode, and they will, that quiet little dream will become a luxury you can't afford. Number 3, Live Oak, Florida. Most towns in Florida fall into two extremes: overcrowded tourist traps or sleepy retirement villages. But somewhere between the chaos of the coasts and the condos of the cities, is a different kind of place. Live Oak, tucked away in North Florida, surrounded by rivers, forests, and fields. Live Oak doesn't try to impress. It doesn't need to, because the real value here isn't in what's built, it's in what isn't. This is one of the last places in Florida where land is still affordable. Homes under $150,000 aren't just rare, they're real. And they come with room to breathe. Quarter-acre lots, half-acre, even full acres, still possible here. And that freedom, that open sky, that silence, it's getting harder to find every year. But don't let the slow pace fool you. Something is shifting. Developers from Jacksonville and Tallahassee, they've started showing up. Quietly at first. A few lots purchased here, a couple flipped homes there. But now, it's accelerating. Investors know that cities are pushing people out, and towns like Live Oak are their next frontier. Locals have already noticed the signs. New faces in town, pickup trucks with out-of-county license plates, property values rising. For sale, signs disappearing overnight. That charming, sleepy town feel, it's already under pressure. Here's the kicker, Live Oak isn't just cheap, it's desirable. Why? Because it offers something America is running out of, space and sanity. In Live Oak, you can wake up to fog rolling over the trees. You can hear owls at night, not sirens. Your neighbors wave. Your taxes are low. Your mortgage, half of what it would be just 2 counties over. And if you want to build your dream, your own home, your own business, even a little farm, you can. But let's talk numbers. Right now, the average home price in Live Oak is around $145,000. That's for move-in ready. Modest single-family homes on decent-sized lots. Want land? 5 acres for under $100,000. Want to build? You can still get parcels with water and septic for under $50,000. Compare that to any part of southern Florida, or even Tallahassee suburbs. And the difference is night and day. But here's where it gets urgent. In 2023 alone, Live Oak saw a 14% increase in home values. Not massive, yet, but enough to raise alarms for anyone watching the market. And if the pattern follows what happened in places like Ocala or Brooksville, that 14% could turn into 40% in just a few years. Once investors smell profit, the soul of a small town starts to vanish. You've seen it before, a gas station here, a Walmart there, cookie-cutter homes where woods used to be. Suddenly the peace is gone, the prices spike, and those $150,000 homes, history. This is your window. If you've ever dreamed of owning land, real land, not a condo with HOA fees, not a 900 square foot box squeezed between neighbors, but a real slice of earth to call your own, Live Oak is your chance. Whether you want a quiet life, a fresh start, or just an investment that's almost guaranteed to grow, there are very few places left like this in Florida. And here's the honest truth, in 5 years, Live Oak may look completely different. The roads will be busier, the lots will be smaller, and the prices? Those homes under $150,000 will be $300,000 plus or gone altogether. You can wait, and watch it happen. Or you can move, now, before the signs go up, before the builders move in, before you say, I should have done something. Because once this land is gone, it's gone. Live Oak isn't flashy. It doesn't scream for attention. But sometimes, the quietest places have the loudest future. Number 2, Sebring, Florida. Sebring, Florida. You've probably never heard of it. And that might be your greatest advantage. Tucked away in the center of the Sunshine State, far from the tourist traps, the traffic jams, and the overpriced condos, lies a quiet little town that still feels like old Florida. A place where you don't need to lock your doors, where families wave from porches, and where a short drive takes you to a crystal-clear lake, instead of a packed parking lot. Sebring is the kind of town where people still fish at dawn and drink coffee with their neighbors. It's not flashy. It's not crowded. And that's exactly why more and more people are looking this way. Because while much of Florida has been swallowed up by development, chaos, and sky-high prices, Sebring has stayed peaceful, calm, affordable. And that last word, that's where it gets interesting. Yes, affordable. While cities like Tampa and Orlando are pricing out first-time buyers, Sebring is still offering lakefront homes under $250,000. Let that sink in. Not fixer-uppers, not mobile homes, real houses, with driveways, backyards, trees, and in some cases, private docks. In 2025, that sounds like a fairy tale, but in Sebring, it's real, even with mortgage rates fluctuating and inflation squeezing pockets everywhere. This little town has remained one of Florida's last untouched gems. Want to know what else is rare? Low property taxes, no state income tax, a cost of living nearly 20% lower than the national average. It's no wonder retirees, remote workers, and even young families are starting to set their sights on this place. Because here, life is still livable. But now, we hit the twist. Sebring is no longer a secret. YouTubers are calling it Florida's last best-kept real estate deal. TikToks showcasing $230,000 lake homes have gone viral. Blogs are starting to rank Sebring in the top underrated places to move in 2025. And guess who's watching? Investors. They've already started moving in, quietly. Flippers from Miami, retirees from New York, remote workers from Texas. They've seen this pattern before. And they're not waiting around. They know something big is coming. And what happens when the outsiders arrive? Prices go up, rental inventory shrinks, locals get priced out, and those once affordable homes, they're gone. Let's break it down in numbers. Median home price in Sebring, 2025 around $230,000. Waterfront homes available under $250,000, yes, but not many. Property taxes, in some cases, as low as $900 per year. Rent for a 3-bedroom home, currently averaging $1,300 per month. Year-over-year home value increase, 12.4%. And climbing. That means if you had bought a house in Sebring just 1 year ago, you'd already be sitting on tens of thousands in equity. And if you wait 1 more year, you could be looking at $300,000 plus for the same house you could get right now for $240,000. The window is closing. So what makes Sebring so attractive? You're 2 hours from Tampa or Orlando, close enough for big city access, far enough to avoid big city problems. You've got over a dozen lakes nearby, Lake Jackson being the crown jewel. You'll find some of Florida's best golf courses, scenic hiking trails, and natural springs, all without tourist crowds. And unlike most of Florida, you're not directly on the hurricane path, meaning lower insurance and safer living. People are beginning to realize Sebring isn't just a place to retire, it's a place to live well, and still own something real. Because when the rest of Florida is overbuilt, overpriced, and overcrowded, Sebring still offers you space, ownership, peace. But here's your decision. Do you want to wait until Sebring becomes the next Ocala or Fort Myers, where prices shoot up 40% in 2 years? Or do you want to get in now, while homes are still under $250,000, and this gem is still quiet? This is not just about buying a home, it's about buying freedom, buying peace of mind, buying a future before someone else grabs it first. So when you hear Sebring, don't just think, maybe. Think. Before it's too late. Number 1. There's a town in Florida nobody talks about. Not because it has nothing to offer, but because the people who know about it are trying to keep it that way. Welcome to Palatka, a river town frozen in time, resting quietly along the banks of the St. John's River. It's not Miami, it's not Tampa. There are no theme parks, no flashing lights. But what it does have is everything those places have lost. We're talking historic charm, waterfront views, century-old oak trees, and yes, houses that still sell for under $180,000. Yes, you heard that right. While the rest of Florida feels like it's been swallowed whole by luxury condos, cookie-cutter suburbs, and insane rent prices, Palatka remains one of the last affordable, untouched, and genuinely soulful towns in the state. But here's the twist. That's all about to change. And fast. Palatka was once a booming hub in the 1800s, a riverport city. It had grand hotels, steamboats docking daily, and a downtown full of life. Then time moved on, and somehow, Palatka got left behind. But what seemed like decline, turned out to be protection. While bigger cities paved over their history, Palatka preserved it. The Victorian homes still stand, the streets still whisper stories, the river still flows, wide, quiet, and powerful. And now, investors are quietly creeping in. They've spotted the potential, the value. They see what you're about to see, a once overlooked town with historic real estate selling for less than half the Florida average. Right now, you can find riverfront cottages for $170,000. 3-bedroom family homes for $150,000. Fixer-uppers under $100,000. That's not a typo, that's Palatka. But it won't last. Here's what the locals are whispering. They're seeing new money come in fast. Old buildings are being gutted and flipped. Downtown shops that once sold bait and tackle, now they're being turned into hip cafes, craft beer bars, and Airbnb lofts. Real estate agents are flying in from Jacksonville, Orlando, even Atlanta, offering cash. Out-of-staters are buying homes sight unseen. TikTok influencers are calling it the next big Florida escape. Bloggers are writing, Palatka is Florida's last hidden gem, and when the noise starts, the prices follow. In 5 years, that $180,000 home, it could be a $450,000 regret. But the magic of Palatka isn't just about price. It's about peace, community, story. Imagine waking up to birdsong, walking to the river with a cup of coffee, and hearing nothing but the water gently lapping at the docks. No traffic, no tourists, no rush, just you and the river. The people here, they know your name by week 2. The postman waves, the barber remembers your haircut. There's a Friday night farmer's market, a Sunday gospel brunch, and sunsets that turn the water to gold. It's the kind of place where you can raise kids, retire in peace, or simply reset your life, far from the noise and the nonsense. And yes, it's still affordable. For now. Palatka isn't flashy. It's not the kind of town that begs for attention. But maybe, that's exactly what makes it special. While the rest of Florida sells you luxury you can't afford, Palatka gives you something much rarer. A life you can actually live. But here's your warning. Developers are circling like sharks. Property values are already rising. Local agents report homes selling within 48 hours, sometimes above asking. And once the chain restaurants arrive, once the luxury condos rise, that charm, that affordability, that soul, it vanishes. So, the choice is yours. Will you take a chance on a quiet little town that's on the brink of a beautiful transformation? Or will you scroll past, and watch someone else claim the last untouched river town in Florida? You've seen what most people haven't. The last places in Florida where you can still find peace, space, and a home you can actually afford. Not condos in the sky. Not traffic-clogged cities. But real communities, real sunsets, real life. These 5 towns, they're holding on. To charm, to character, to a slower, better way of living. But here's the truth, they won't hold on forever. Florida's no longer a secret. Developers are moving in, investors are circling. And once the prices start climbing, they almost never fall. You're not early anymore, but you're not too late. Yet. So if you've ever dreamed of escaping the noise, of starting fresh, of owning something real, this is your moment. But blink too long, and it'll be gone. Act before the window shuts. Because once it's closed for good.